Morning, everyone. It's a very early morning Saturday. In North Brisbane. Probably started this run 10 to 15 minutes ago. I'm about just over 2 kilometers in, and it's probably about 4:20 right now, I'd say. Can't look at my watch, but one of my hands is being used to hold the camera, so anyway, the plan again is to take it easy and go long. We're gonna really try to go rather long today. I've got a route mapped for about 40k, so I'm trying to set the stretch target for when I leave the house, but we can always stop sooner if we need to. So if it goes according to plan, I'm going to head out along Kedron Brook all the way past the cycling criterion, and then turn south along, I can't remember if it's Nudgee Road or something else, but south along the road that runs between the Eagle Farm and Doomben race courses, and then once we get south of those, we'll turn west and then ultimately come back in a relatively straight line to Pickering Street and then Sanford Road, and make our way back to Ferny Grove. The other piece too is on the way back along Sanford Road, there's a fairly decent proportion of that part of the run that is relatively close to the Ferny Grove train line. So again, if it's seemingly unlikely that I'll make the full distance, I'll probably stop and get on a train. So, similar to some of my other videos recently, because the sun won't be up or light won't be in the sky probably for another hour and a half, unless something interesting comes to mind or similar. I probably won't record much until we get a bit of light. So it'll just be me and the darkness and whatever creatures that my light refracts through their eyes or back out of their eyes. They'll be my company for the next little while. Okay, check in later. Alright, still dark out, but after 13.5 kilometres of running, I'm gonna get back onto the Kedron Brook. We're just near the airport link tunnels, and just wanted to come off this a little bit, because for me to do the 30 or 40k, I needed a more direct route instead of going along Kedron Brook the whole way. So probably about 15 minutes before we start to see some light. First people I've seen. That's the other cool thing about getting along here. I haven't seen anyone yet. Bit of a shame, really. Looks like by the time we get a decent amount of light in the sky, I'll be turning south off of Kedron Brook, and we'll essentially just be on main roads after that. Just gasoline alleys until the end. It's been good to see some other people. It's been pretty. Probably run for about an hour 20, hour 30 without seeing anyone. Just up here around this corner, December 2024, so 6 months ago, where I was attempting to do my own half Ironman, and I was just headed out on the 90-kilometre ride, and I slipped right here and bent my derailleur and banged my right hip up pretty good, and it's still not fully recovered, but it tolerates the running. Doesn't, certainly not as enjoyable when your body is free of injury. Just that easy kind of just gliding along type of feeling. No worry in the world. You know aerobically you can do it. Don't really have to worry about too much else, but I find running at the moment think aerobically I'm quite capable, but physically I'm always paying attention to my body. More so than ever, which used to be something I didn't have to think about at all. Just at the Criterion track here. Now, officially about to go past the Jim Sawley bikeway sign. We're about 18k in. Feeling good, but I just ran a 5-minute 12 kilometer, and I think I've been doing that for a while now. I mean, everything's been under essentially 5:30, and I set myself the goal pace of 6 minutes for 30 or 40k. So I am going to tie here at some point, and this pace is going to slow dramatically. Probably about 500 meters before we turn west now. And start heading toward, I think this suburb is technically Hendra, and then we're going to be heading toward Doomben. I know I've got that somewhat confused, but I don't spend too much time learning the names of places. I just know where I can go, and I think I've spoken about this before. I can give general directions, but I can't name names. It's just not how I navigate. So, works fine for me. I'm pretty aware of where I am around Greater Brisbane, but someone asked me to explain how to get from A to B. I can't really tell you, unless you can follow. Go right, go left, go straight. JSB1. Morning. Cyclists must be pretty darn cold this morning. Had a week of morning temperatures of about 5 or just below, which is unusual for Brisbane. Very unusual. Alright, we are now on Nudgee Road, and we're heading south. Looks like it won't be too much longer before I have some decent light. So, if anything catches my eye, from now on, I'll record it. I've always, don't know if this can show it, but that little shed there, or big shed I should say, is always an imposing structure on the horizon here. And I don't truly know what it's for. Maybe I'll find out right now. Certainly making noise in there. Dumping used concrete, so must be some kind of staging area for the stuff to do with a lot of the construction work that's occurring around Brisbane. A little worried this road might not be very very nice to run down. Anyway, it's looking like light to mid industrial. So it's bound to be busy. It's bound to be a lot of trucks. I'll have to stay vigilant and I'll check back in soon. I'm just running south along Doomben racecourse, and then this is called Racecourse Village. Then we're going to hit Eagle Farm Racecourse to the west, and I'll run south of that. Well, Orange Theory, I didn't realise they'd have made it over to Australia. Saw a lot of them in Vancouver, but haven't seen one here, so that's a first. Right, just clicked over to 21k. Pretty happy with my heart rate because I didn't manage to get out for a run prior to this one this week, and work just ended up being rather full on. Usually I try to get at least one run done to, I guess, shock my heart rate a little bit. There you go. Yeah, if I can. Doesn't really matter even if I get out for just 5k. If I get my heart pumping, it usually means I'll be able to keep my heart rate, to zone 2 a little easier when I go for these long runs. So I was a bit worried that was going to be a true struggle. So, but it's starting to get elevated now. But overall, not too bad. I'm still sub 5:30 at this point, so I can start to feel the beginnings of fatigue. So I think I'm going to be running, 5:45s pretty soon. You can certainly smell that the racetrack is just to the west of me here. My goodness me. Must be where they piled the horse shit, because my oh my, that smells. It's almost as challenging as breathing in cigarette fumes when you're trying to gasp for oxygen as a runner. Alright, now we're turning west, and this is the beginning of the long way home. Going to be going through Albion, I think it's up via Maguire Street, then onto Pickering, Sanford Road, toward Hendra. So, and I no longer need my headlamp on. It is bright enough for me to see and for people to see me. Alright, well, check back in later. Wow, what a lovely suburb. People have gone to a lot of effort to retain the historical character of these houses, but modernize them. Nice to see. Thank you. But we're not completely losing them. The local church once again gets the primest of all the real estate. Don't pretend you're surprised. He's a bit hilly though. I think it's becoming clear that I'm not gonna make my stretch target today of 38 or 39 kilometers. So we're sitting at about 24. I think I can probably pump out another 6 to get me to 30, but I think after that I'm going to start considering a train. I keep thinking I should run with a towel in case I need an Uber, but just gets harder and harder to run with mass. I'm more fatigued. I'll just get that on camera. Mick Curry. Kind of in the, not aggressively, but I'd say somewhat actively in the market for a personal trainer or a club to run with, because I feel like I've hit a bit of a ceiling. Certainly I have a lot of internal motivation, but there's a unwillingness I'm finding to do properly hard things, and I think if I had coach or a group of people egging me on. Perhaps a bit easier to achieve. We just did a pretty steep kilometre down to that. It was my first plus 6 minute K. So yeah, it seems I'm starting to slow it down here, whether I like it or not. Don't know if the city's showing up there, but it's looking pretty impressive. Good. As I said before, the most direct routes now are all major roads and gasoline alleys, so suck it up. So I had said that I'd be heading home along Maguire and then Pickering, but given I'm starting to get to the point where, you know, it's going to be really uncomfortable to continue, I've decided to either hang a left or go south at the, I think it's the Albion 5 ways, and run so that I link up with the Ferny Grove train line. So I'm just over 26k. I think I can probably stretch that to 30, but yeah, not 38 or 39. So, and I think if I went, I mean, Pickering Street has some immense hills, and also I don't know at what point it would join back up with the train line, so I'm just going to be a little bit risk averse here and run as close to the thing as I can. So there's the Beanley line heading into the city, so I'll be turning right up here and essentially hug that line as much as possible. Sometimes I wonder, like, when I set myself these stretch goals of say 40k, does it feel like failure when that looks nice? Mum's tie. Yeah. Does it So we're just passing Windsor. And then I think it'll be Wilston, then Enoggera. We're at nearly 27k, so not too much more to complete. Anyway, as you can tell by my own sort of sidetracking, I can't keep my thoughts straight, but yeah, does it feel like failure to me when I set a goal of, 38. That's a stretch goal, but then offer myself the chance through both just mindset and physically being able to find an alternative mode of transport home without impacting my family, who are all very likely still in bed, except for my 4-year-old. But I think once I've accepted that I'm pretty much happy with, doing slightly less, then I don't really view it as failure. I mean, before the marathon a month ago, the farthest I'd been since a very long time ago, a couple of years, at least this running season, was 27k. So I had to add on 15k just to get that marathon done. So this, I've now passed 27. So this is my longest self-driven run, I guess you would say. It's all motivated by me. I've got hydration, calories, I've got gels, I've got bars if I need them. So, all those things considered, this will be a pretty good outcome. And perhaps, unless I was really willing to slow the pace, perhaps 38, 39 was just truly unrealistic, especially given that, the final 4k home is uphill, and that is just challenging to think about, let alone execute it. Well, maybe you're not there. Had the course been flat, maybe I could have just kept rolling the feet over. Anyway, so a very long-winded way of saying I won't achieve my stretch goals today, but the alternative is still pretty decent, and I'm pretty proud to have gotten as far as I have. I'm already proud. So if we can add another 2.5 Ks, that'd be... Alright, so that's 30k done and dusted. That's about 2 hours 43 with an average pace of 5:27. So I'm pretty happy with that, because again, a little over a month ago, I couldn't really get below 5:40 on these long runs, so to go 30 at 5:27 and have a pretty decent heart rate, and I feel pretty nice now, but certainly not nice enough to keep running. Yeah, that's a good day, and it is going to be another stellar day. The sun is going to work its magic. My son has football at 12:40 today, so it'll be nice and warm for that event. Usually we kick off at 8, so that was the main reason I could get in a much longer run today as well, because I didn't have to be home by 7. Anyway, so yeah, another one in the books. Feeling good about it, especially because I wasn't able to get any other runs in this week, so a nice big one makes me feel as though I didn't lose too much fitness, so all good.